the Saints defense has just been inspired.
It's Katie bar the door. There is Wilkes right in the middle. He goes right over. And here he comes late for the sack. Boy, I tell you what, did you see how they were pushing the Bears offensive lineman? I was trying to watch 5 people at one time, but you could see basically what was happening.
5th sack by the Saints. 41 yards totaled up in that department. Willie Galt was going to be the man McMahon wanted to get it to. He was just on a straight fly, but he did not have time to fall off. 3rd and 11. Ashnagle and Marjoram in now, and too much time is taken by the Chicago Bears to get the play off, so that'll make it a little bit longer. And 3rd down, 3rd and 16, back to the 14-yard line.
Jim McMahon was a little upset there. He was yelling at some of his teammates. I guess apparently somebody didn't get in the right spot, and they just took too much time. As you take a look at Mike Ditka's got to be a little bit ticked off. He does have a temper, a mild one.
Mild temper. Okay. That's the 7th Bear penalty to test his temper with.
This is a big play.
Out of the shotgun inside to Payton, and the Saints shut that down. They have not been easily fooled today. It was Rob Nairn, linebacker number 55, getting in on the action.
You're right that Rob Nairn was in there, number 55, and he's the one that really jams up. He comes in on the blitz right there and gets a hold of Payton and slows him up, and then everybody else gets in on the tackle. But Rob Nairn on the blitz up the middle, and a blitz sometimes works great against the run. In fact, it's more effective.
Look at those happy defenders, Clark and Tony Elliott. And Parsons stands at his own 3-yard line awaiting the snap. This kick a little bit short, taken at midfield by Groth. He's tackled immediately, but the Saints in good field position. Dennis Gentry nailed him right at midfield, but New Orleans not too unhappy to be starting at the 50. A 33-yard punt by Parsons. We have 5:59 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Saints lead it 24-10. Jim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in New Orleans, Louisiana, where the Saints have started to turn the game their way. They have 1st down at midfield. Vince Evans is warming up on the Bears sideline, so it looks like Mike Ditka wants a change of pace and pace in there. Meanwhile, the Bears have to get the ball. The Saints, Hokie Gaijan, number 46, picks up about 2 up the middle. Let's look elsewhere in the NFL today for some updated scoring. You see the Pittsburgh Steelers leading Houston 19-7 in the 3rd period. And San Francisco has now moved in front of St. Louis 28-10. Montana to Russ Francis for an 11-yard touchdown. And Buffalo leading the Colts 14-9, having come from behind an early Colt field goal. Terry Schmidt is in defensively for Mike Richardson on the left corner. Draw play to Gaijan, and he is met right at the line of scrimmage and held to no gain. And that was Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker, number 50.
Boy, he came through there like a rocket. He'll hit you on those runs, and Gaijan really didn't get a chance to get going because it was the draw action off the fake of the pass. Watch 50. Osborne will charge left, and 50 Singletary goes right through and makes the tackle before he even gets to the line of scrimmage. Now, obviously, there's a lot of time left in this game, and it's not over yet. And the Saints, you know, as you know, Bum Phillips like to eat up that clock when you get ahead, so they have gone to the run on the first 2 plays. They'll be forced probably to pass this time.
3rd and 9, slot left. Flags down as he is sacked. Stabler at the 40-yard line is dropped by number 55, Otis Wilson, and Hartenstein and Osborne coming in right behind him, and a flag down. Let's see if maybe a face mask was involved here.
Face mask, number 78, declined, 4th down.
Well, they called it against number 78.
Kelvin Clark.
Kelvin Clark of the New Orleans Saints apparently grabbed one of the on-rushing Bears, and he's saying, hey.
He said, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
There's new rules, so you can put your hands out.
Just happened to catch a little iron. So it's declined by the Bears, and New Orleans will punt. Russell Erxleben, who has punted twice for an average of 48.5, and Jeff Fisher, the deep man for the Bears, waiting for it at the 18-yard line. Rixlaven's biggest play, a pass to Jeff Groth that kept the drive alive and led to the touchdown. Fisher eludes the first tackler. That was number 34, Bobby Johnson. And Fisher could get no farther, however, so they will start at the 20-yard line where Rich Monty made sure that Fisher did not get up. Coming up, following our telecast, will be the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys.
Vince Evans has come in at quarterback. James Scott is now in the game, who's been hampered by a pulled muscle for a couple of weeks. So we see Scott, we see Vince Evans. So Mike Ditka is trying to shake up the mix a little bit here and see if he can get things going for the Chicago Bears. Vince Evans.
On the 20-yard line, first down for the Bears. Rolling to his right. Bruce Clark in pursuit. Evans takes off and slides into the 29-yard line. A pickup of 9 yards on the play. Jim Wilkes in pursuit, caught up with him, number 94.
Well, Vince Evans had a good exhibition season, did very well every time he got in the game, and has kind of been the man that's been in and out over the past few years. Got plenty of speed, a strong arm, and he's the kind of quarterback, if you're going to bring somebody off the bench, he has the ability to come up with big plays. He just has that individual ability. So I figure that is what Mike Ditka is counting on, a little change of pace here. And Evans that time managed to get 8 yards, 8.5 yards out of something that was basically a busted play.
Dan Neal is back in at center for the Bears. Becker, Fada, Colbert, Van Horn, the rest of that offensive line. And Payton has the first down and then some over the 35 to the 36-yard line. And it is Whitney Paul, number 51, Dennis Winston, number 56. The linebackers putting the stop on Payton. In come Moorhead and Willie Galt for the Bears.
I would have to say that my reasoning a moment ago was that McMahon wasn't really doing all that poorly. I mean, the Bears had moved the ball. They didn't have too many points. But McMahon didn't have a lot of interceptions. They hadn't had a bad game. So obviously Dick is just trying to change the situation and hope for something to break.
Go to the one setback with Payton in motion behind the ball as Bashnagel. They give to Payton. He's got the hole. Payton over the 45 has first down yardage to the 47-yard line. Winston and Russell Gary, number 20, the strong safety on the hit. So Walter Payton marching them out.
Okay, one back. There's only one guy that's going to get the ball. You know it's Payton. Dan Neal does a good job, number 52, as he wheeled Derlin Moore right out of the play. And Payton avoided a tackle there, puts his head down, takes the punishment, and always gets right back up. Never gets hurt.
74 yards on 16 carries for Walter Payton. It is first and 10. Evans almost intercepted. The pass intended for Saldi, and it was Dennis Winston who nearly came up with a deflection.
And Jim Kovac was there, I think,
on the coverage.
On the coverage, and it was very close that time. He got there just about when the ball got there. Okay, let's watch Vince Evans with one back in. Payton's a blocker on this play. Didn't have to block now. Does Kovac make his contact too soon? It looked like it to me.
Very close indeed. There's Winston diving for the deflection. By the way, Payton's carry, his 53rd of this season, brings him to a career total of 2,405 carries. That's what puts him in second place in the NFL all-time record for rushing attempts. He has been a busy man in his career. Second blitz. Evans complete. Matsui almost eluded his man. A flag down, deep downfield. Suey picked up about 5 yards on the play. 2:07, the time remaining here in the third period. Let's see what the call is. It was downfield.
It's a big call.
Freddie Wyatt, the referee. See what the call is.
Illegal contact, number 20, first down.
Russell Gary charged with illegal contact. Must have bumped somebody downfield beyond the 5-yard limit. The flag was quite a ways downfield. And the word, Johnny, on McMahon that we have been given is that he has a sprained muscle in his neck and will not be returning to this football game. So that may be the reason Kieran Simplewhite, Vince Evans, is in.
Yeah.
It is first down for the Chicago Bears at midfield. Evans.
Oh!
Picked off, intended for Marjoram. Frank Wantlet, the third-year safety from Kansas, saw that coming all the way. He just couldn't quite get there fast enough to get it in his hands.
Okay, you can see Marjoram down the field. He's driving Johnny Poe off, comes back on the old sponge pattern, and here comes Wantlet. He's the free guy to inside help, and he almost had himself an interception. That would have been a game buster right there had he taken that, because he had plenty of open room. As we're going to take a look at Jim McMahon on the sidelines, and like I said, he's back there with the strained neck. As I mentioned, he wasn't doing all that poorly, and I figured the only reason they were bringing Evans in was to shake it up, but it's because of the injury. Oh!
Side handoff to Payton. Payton with a nifty move, still going. Payton, touchdown. Walter Payton with some dazzling footwork broke away from the entire defense of the New Orleans Saints and takes it into the end zone, and suddenly the Bears are right back in it.
What a run by Walter Payton. Boy, that caught everybody by surprise. Off the shotgun, the inside handoff. Great block by Rob Fata, and then Payton just now, watch those legs. They're like crazy legs. Remember Crazy Legs Hirsch? And then he turns on the speed as Wantlet tried to hit him high. You can't hit Walter Payton high. If you're going to dive at him, you go for these legs, and then Walter just cruised it on in. High step at Walter. Down goes the ball, and that's it.
It'll be Bob Thomas attempting the point after.
Look at the rushing yardage, 17 for 123.
It is good, and we still have 1:52 remaining here in this third period, as the Bears have closed the margin up to 7, 24-17, and you know, a neat little moment there was Mike Ditka giving a little pat on the butt to his offensive coordinator, who obviously had called that play, and it was a clever play, perfectly timed into the game, and Payton went the distance, and Ditka appreciating the work of his offensive strategist, Ed Hughes.
And did you know that I think that entire drive was on the ground? Was there a completed pass? I don't think so.
No,
I think everything went on the ground. It was however long it was all on the ground.
Coming up right after our telecast here today, you'll see the Giants at Dallas, the second half of our doubleheader. The NFL today, and the Giants and the Cowboys always provide an exciting and very tough football game. The Cowboys making their home opener, and of course that team that has been known as America's team having its problems on and off the field this season. The Chicago Bears went 79 yards in 6 plays, using up 2:40 on the clock. Payton's 49-yard touchdown run was a dazzle. Dallas 2-0. The Giants are 1-1, and that action upcoming here on CBS Sports. Thomas, kickoff to the goal line, taken by Duckett. Kenny Duckett broke the tackle to the 50, to the 40-yard line. Kenny Duckett, his second big kickoff return, and he has been something offensively for the Saints today. Anthony Hutchison made the tackle, the rookie running back.
And I want to tell you something. If a few people would have gotten out of his way, he would have gone for the touchdown, because he gets a couple of linemen get in his way, and he can't get by them. That's number 67. Stan Brock, as Duckett cut back, but Stan Brock got in his way. You can't blame Brock. He was trying to help out and do a job, but he wasn't able to turn on that burst until it was a little bit too late.
61-yard kickoff return for Duckett. Stabler on first down. He's got a man and a first down.
Nope, he dropped it.
Jeff Groth, and he fielded the ball, evidently. The pass a little bit low from Stabler, and it is incomplete. Groth was there and open, and Kenny will just shrug that off.
Here is Groth down there, and it's a pretty good timing pass as he goes down the field about 18 yards, cuts to the outside, and the ball was on its way, and there's just no excuse. That one should have been caught. That's a big play.
He won't drop too many. It is 2nd and 10. Lone setback. Wayne Wilson Stabler intercepted by Terry Schmidt. Intended for Goodlow, and Schmidt was on that one all the way. And the Bears have the ball back at their own 16-yard line with 1:24 remaining in the third period, and Stabler would like to have that one back.
Well, he threw into a bit of double coverage, as you see Schmidt back over there on the corner, and Stabler had plenty of time to throw the ball. He just missed it as Terry Schmidt just came up there and picked it off, took a chance. And that's one thing Terry Schmidt will do, is take a chance. He went for that quick post before it was even thrown.
Schmidt has been in there in this second half for the rookie cornerback Mike Richardson, and Schmidt comes up big, trying to win that job back. He's helping his cause. Former New Orleans Saint, Terry Schmidt. So the Bears first down from their own 16-yard line. Evans continues at quarterback, complete to Moorhead. Moorhead is dropped immediately. Whitney Paul, I believe, will make it Dirk Winston, number 56. Dennis Winston on the hit. A pickup of 4 yards for Moorhead. And it is second down and 6. Time winding down here in the third period. Let's take a quick look at some other scores around the NFL. What do we got here? We got Atlanta over Detroit by 10 now. The Lions making a little bit of a comeback, 24-14. Kansas City still leads Washington 12-3, a low-scoring battle into the third. Baltimore and Buffalo. The Colts have gone back in front of the Bills in the third period. Second down and 6. Evans up the middle, complete to Moorhead. A perfect strike. First down to the 45-yard line of New Orleans, and Dave Waymer, number 44, pulls him down. That ball was on a rope. That was a patented Vince Evans strike. A 36-yard gain.
And Russell Gary was the man on the coverage of the partial rollout. Turns back. He knew Moorhead was there all the way. That was his first receiver. And watch this 20. Russell Gary tried to knock it down, but the pass was too perfect, right in the old breadbasket. And it's a first down for the Chicago Bears. And moments ago, we thought it could be a blowout. Now it's 24-17.
And there's the gun sounding the end of the third quarter here at the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. And the score, the New Orleans Saints 24, the Chicago Bears 17. We now pause for a word from your local station. Ryan and Johnny Morris back in the Superdome, and here's an interesting number. Second one on your right from the top, 26 yards rushing. Remember, the last time these teams met, the Saints got 138 yards out of Wayne Wilson all by himself, subbing for the injured George Rogers. Today it's been Kenny Stabler's passing arm, 201 yards through 3 periods, and the Saints lead it 24-17, but it is Chicago ball. Evans, the quarterback, play action. Up the middle, intended for Baschnagel, incomplete, missed him by a mile. And Russell Gary on the coverage. Right now, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for a look at the Green Bay game.
Tim, the pack is back. They have driven down an Eddie Lee Ivory, then took it over, and after the extra point, they've tied the Los Angeles Rams at 24. Back to Tim and Johnny.
Wow, Brent, that sounds like this game here in New Orleans. Seesaw battle. Chicago has the ball. They have a chance to tie it at 24 if they can keep it going. Second and 10. They're at the 45. Scott and McKinnon are the wide receivers. James Scott coming back from a groin pull injury, his first start of the season, or his first game of the season today. Evans had time, now runs out, throws the ball off, and there is nobody over there. Let's see if they give him that one or not. The Saints are pointing over to that empty real estate, saying there's nobody there but the Bears bench. And meanwhile, Bruce Clark had a grip on Evans, and they may be calling it a sack. And there is one official standing there saying the play was already over. It is a sack back at the 45-yard line. So the disgruntled secondary of the Saints can leave the field happily because Bruce Clark, number 75, has been credited with a sack. A 10-yard loss on the play, third down. You know, the Saints have come up with huge defensive plays today, Johnny. In critical situations, when the Bears have threatened, they've come up with a big defensive play. Shotgun for Evans. Moorhead in the slot right. Look at this. Walter Payton trying the near side and got about 5 yards, but well short of first down yardage. Ricky Jackson forced him out. Payton got it over the midfield stripe, but Chicago will have to punt. Going back into that first half, Johnny, you know, the Bears got to the 34-yard line off a Frazier interception, got no farther. They had a fumble recovery, got to the New Orleans 42. They were stopped on that drive, and they've been stopped here again when they were at the 45 of New Orleans.
And Payton is only the second back to ever rush for over 100 yards against the Saints since Bum Phillips has been here. Of course, he's done that today. I think Tony Dorsett was the only other player that ever did that since Bum has been here.
Payton's 50th 100-yard game today. But Parsons will have to punt it for the Bears. Angling for the corner. Groth, fair catch at the 13-yard line. Another good kick for Bob Parsons. And we will be back with 14:04 remaining regulation time. The Saints have the football and a 7-point lead, 24-17. The Saints have the football off the punt by Parsons. Brenner and Hardy, double tight ends. One setback. The patriarch of passing, Kenny Stabler, continues at the helm, and Wayne Wilson picks up about 3 yards over the 15-yard line to the 16.
Well, you were talking about the running stats a few moments ago, Tim. They just haven't been able to run the ball. It's amazing that they have so many points without, you know, some kind of a running attack. Terry Schmidt, by the way, is still in at the corner. I don't know if Richardson got hurt or whether Coach Buddy Ryan says, let's go with the experienced veteran and take Richardson out.
Schmidt has been there since the beginning of the second half and has picked up an interception. Wilson turning it upfield, gets close to the 20-yard line, running off tackle left. Tripped up by Al Harris, number 90, and Dan Hampton, number 99.
Okay, here we go. Here's where Kenny Stabler's at his best. As you know, he calls most of the plays himself, and one of the last quarterbacks in the NFL that still calls his own plays. Everybody sends him in from the sidelines, but he thinks so much like Bum Phillips that Bum lets him call most of the plays. Here is a key situation. Probably a little too far to run the ball. I figure he's going to get that sure type pass.
6 defensive backs in for the Bears. Wilson is dropped behind the line. Todd Bell blitzing up from the safety spot. Nobody touched him, and he made a big defensive play for Chicago. Todd Bell.
It's pretty tough to run on the Bears on a 3rd and 4 situation like that. You'll see Todd Bell come through slick and clean. Nobody even blocked him, and he got Wilson before he even got started. Key defensive play by Todd Bell, who led the team in tackles going into this game. He had 17 solo tackles going in, so the strong safety of the Chicago Bears is always in on tackles.
12:22 and counting. Erxleben will have to kick it, standing at his goal line, and the Bears should wind up with
pretty good field
position. Jeff Fisher is at the 41-yard line of the Bears, and plenty of time left with a touchdown margin. Good kick. Dandy by Erxleben. Coming down at the 41. Fisher dives over the 45. Stopped there by Jimmy Rogers and Larry Hardy. So the Bears in good position here. Vince Evans will continue at quarterback when we return to the Superdome. Saints 24, Bears 17. We're back here in New Orleans where the Chicago Bears have the football at their own 46-yard line following a 44-yard punt by Erxleben. Vince Evans, a little discussion with Mike Ditka and Ed Hughes, and is ready to go here as the Bears trail by a converted touchdown. Saints defensively have been tough when it has counted all afternoon. Let's see what the Bears can develop here. First downs, 15 for the Bears, 13 for New Orleans. Moorhead and Solly, double tight ends, one setback, Payton. Moorhead in motion. Payton straight ahead, picks up 5 over the midfield stripe into New Orleans territory. Boy, there are happy times for baseball fans in Chicago. The White Sox having clinched, and I know you've been a busy man in Chicago this past week enjoying the success, and we want to congratulate Eddie Einhorn and Jerry Reinsdorf, and our old pal Eddie Einhorn from his CBS days has done quite a job there with the White Sox, Johnny.
And the people of Chicago are very happy. It's been a long time, as you know. It's been a long drought. Of course, they've just won the division. They've got to go a little further yet, but at least there is hope.
2nd and 5 for the football heroes of Chicago, trying to get back into a tie. Evans is blitzed and is going to be dropped. The sack goes to Jim Wilkes. a number 17 choice in 1981 out of San Diego State. And he has become a bona fide NFL pass rusher.
Okay, you'll see Wilkes. He'll come over from the right side of the screen. It goes to the inside of rookie Jimbo Colbert, and that is the one weakness Colbert has, 74, as he gets a hold of Vince Evans and brings him down. Jimbo Colbert, the number 1 draft choice, gets beat sometimes to the inside. Wilkes is not going to let go of Evans, is he? He's got him. He says, he's mine. It's my sack. Nice inside move. He didn't go to the outside.
7 sacks today against that young offensive line of the Bears. 3rd and 16. Bobbled ball, a flag down. Evans recovered his own fumble. Flags are down on the play. And Evans dropping the pass from center in the shotgun.
It looked like several Bears moved too soon to me.
Signal is against Chicago.
Ball start, number 64.
Rob Feda moved a little bit too soon. You know how New Orleans was really coming on Chicago defensively, and the way they nullified that was with Peyton running on draws and up the middle and on traps. And we are in a long passing situation. It's too long, I guess, to give it to Peyton, but that's the one thing that seemed to stop the New Orleans defense and make them a little bit tentative.
5 down linemen in for New Orleans, and a draw by the quarterback, but it's reacted to beautifully. Tony Elliott, number 99, the nose man, making the tackle on the quarterback draw of Vince Evans.
Well, they were thinking along the same lines that I was, is that the Saints teeing off from that pass rush, and Evans is such a good running quarterback, but it didn't fool the Saints. In that big play, New Orleans has a chance to get the ball.
Let's take a look at some other scores around the NFL. San Francisco now has opened a 35-17 lead over St. Louis. Atlanta has opened one over Detroit, 27-14 in the 4th, and they are tied, the Rams in Green Bay. Parsons punt. Groth signals fair catch and makes it at the 27-yard line. So New Orleans has the football. They have the lead, and they have 9:59 remaining in regulation time here in New Orleans. So Bum Phillips talks things over on the sidelines as Kenny Stable will bring him out. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris reminding you that right after our telecast, you're going to be seeing the Giants at Dallas. Our doubleheader action on CBS Sports today. The Cowboys off to a 2-0 start despite their off-the-field problems, and the Giants are 1-1, and they are always tough against the Cowboys. That's quite a rivalry. Meanwhile here, 9:59 on the clock. New Orleans holding a 24-17 lead as they try to move up to 2-1 on the season. And it is New Orleans ball. Kenny Duckett apparently has sprained an ankle. I don't know that that'll keep him out. He also had a hamstring injury. Wayne Wilson picks up 5 on first down, number 30 out the right side. Duckett came into the game with a hamstring pull. He has ripped off kickoff returns of 54 and 61 yards each. Has scored a touchdown on a beautiful catch from Stabler, so I think we might even see him back.
The Bears were in almost like a 4-4 defense. They had about 8 people within a yard of the ball in the last play. This is a big drive for New Orleans. They have not been able to control the ball much in the second half, and that's what they need to do now.
Lots of time remaining, 2nd and 4. And the Bears stack up Wayne Wilson right at the line of scrimmage. 3 tacklers led by Mike Singletary, putting the stop on Wilson. Dan Hampton, number 99, right there with Singletary, and in come the extra defensive backs, Richardson and Williams. So evidently Richardson is all right. Buddy Ryan decided to replace him on the corner with the veteran Schmidt, and now Richardson coming in as the extra defensive back. 3rd and 5. Stabler up the middle, and it is tipped away by Todd Bell, intended for Hobie Brenner.
Well, the Saints once again were not able to do anything with the ball, and you keep giving the Bears the ball, keep giving them a shot. Eventually they're going to get through and tie this football game up, because you can't depend on your defense all day. Now, the Bears have been stacking against the run, figuring and knowing Bum Phillips' tendencies, and even Stabler, when you get ahead like this, they're trying to grind out and run the clock down. Those 1st and 2nd downs put them in a hole right off.
Bears need a big play here. They've got lots of time, 8:48 remaining in the fourth period. And, of course, the Saints defensively have made several big plays, so that'll be their object.
Oh, high one.
Erxleben, and he nearly had the screens up here with that punt. It's a fair catch at the 25-yard line by Jeff Fisher. Erxleben really elevated that one. A 40-yard punt, and the Bears will start from their 26 when we return with 8:40 to go. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris at the Superdome. The Saints have 7 sacks today, and that ties a team record. And that 62 yards they've rolled up in sack yardage establishes a team record. Let's see if they can keep that pressure on. Vince Evans and the Bears trying to move the ball downfield to force a tie here. And he shakes out of 1 sack and gets the ball away complete. It is Ken Marjoram out at midfield, and a good effort by Vince Evans, as it looked like the 8th sack of the day was coming up, and instead he turns it into a long gainer.
Boy, did one of the officials get killed on that play. He provided the key block for
Let's see if we can see it.
The Chicago Bears. This is Marjoram breaking clear late. It's too much to ask the defenders to cover him all day, and it was just a super effort by Vince Evans to get away from all that problem, and little help from the official, who got really clobbered.
First down at the 49-yard line. The Bears into New Orleans territory on 1 play. Suey sets up on the wing right. Peyton the lone setback. Whoops, mixed up play, and a good effort by Evans, but it's picked off. What a catch by Dennis Winston, reaching over his head to intercept. And Evans, off a broken play, had just made a real good effort to get the pass away.
And Dennis Winston gave us a big spike of the ball afterwards, and it almost bounced to the top of the stadium. But watch the pulling action by the left guard and the right guard, both pulling. It looked like Peyton kind of got crossed up on where he was going to go, and then Evans just tried to throw the ball up and over as he was trying to hit Jay Salty, and Dennis Winston just came up with a superhuman effort there as they leaped up, got the ball, and the Saints have it. Let's see if they control it this time.
Another big defensive play by the Saints. It made them all afternoon. A little shovel pass out there to Wayne Wilson as Stabler was under pressure, and the Bears defensively come up with a big play. A 2-yard loss as Singletary, Fensick, and Hampton all there. 8:07 and counting. It'll be 2nd and 12.
What the Saints have abandoned because of the game situation is what Stabler does so well, and that's that 1-2-3 quick pass out to the receivers or the tight end, the stuff to keep a defense off balance. He's not doing anymore. At least he hasn't been this second half.
2nd and 12. Stabler deep for growth. Frazier on the coverage. Incomplete, a flag down. Todd Bell, expecting the penalty to go against the Bears, is objecting. It's Bell and Fensick both filing their protest with the officials.
And it was
no
Frazier.
signal yet. Frazier was
Pass interference, number 21, first down.
Frazier is indeed going to get the penalty, which has raised the ire of the Bears secondary.
Well, it's going to be a close call because they were both going shoulder to shoulder and going for the ball. Let's see what happens here. Does he jostle him, push him? I don't know. That's another tough call. Both going for the ball. It's a very difficult call. Referees, the officials' judgment. What do you think, Tim?
Well, that's a tough call. I'm going to leave that lie there. The ball is at the 40-yard line, nonetheless. First down for New Orleans.
It's a tough call, but it was a critical call.
Out of the I formation, they go to Wilson. Wilson running well. Gets some room and gets to the 32-yard line of the Bears. Gain of 8 for Wilson. Al Harris and Todd Bell make the stop. 90 and 25, respectively. 7:25 and counting.
That's the key thing in a drive, a first down play. If you can get yourself 7 or 8 yards, then you got the defense on the go. The Bears defense has had the New Orleans offense really in shackles the past 10 or 15 minutes. However, the Saints have got the lead.
And 9 penalties assessed against the Bears for a total of 96 yards. That certainly has been a factor. Gaijan.
Fumble.
Loose ball picked up by the Bears. It is Todd Bell, and still running with the football. Now lateraling off the fencing, but play has been whistled in, but Todd Bell has come up with the fumbled ball, and the Bears get it right back. Well, they've traded big defensive plays today.
They certainly have, and actually Kenny Stabler saved this from being a touchdown. There's Gaijon going into the hole here. He fumbled it on his own. I don't think anybody knocked it off.
Never really had the football, Johnny. It was not a good exchange.
There's Stabler trying to make the tackle. He didn't make the tackle, but he got in Todd Bell's way and made him jump over him, which allowed the rest of the Saints to get in on the tackle. There was a little lateral, almost a forward lateral, but the whistle had blown by that time. But it is the Chicago Bears ball.
At the 43-yard line, Evans the quarterback, 6:50 on the clock, 24-17 New Orleans. Daschnagel and Galt the wide receivers. Forehead in motion.
Pass.
Payton is going to throw. Payton deep for Galt. Galt has the football, touchdown! Walter Payton to Willie Galt. There are no flags down. What a play! Willie Galt, second touchdown of the day, and again like last week, Johnny, he knows how to go to the ball. He cut off the pattern, and Walter Payton threw that like Vince Evans.
He threw it about 55 to 60 yards, and we'll measure it out. And Payton was also having to run over to his left and throw the ball right. I mean, you're asking a lot when you ask a quarterback to do that. But Payton was able to do that through the ball. It's got to be 60 yards.
It's a 56-yard play from the line of scrimmage.
There must have been
and so the ball was definitely in the air over 60 yards.
An unbelievable throw and an unbelievable adjustment by Willie Galt to go get the ball.
Thomas with the point after. It is good. We have a tie football game, and let's go back and take a look at that. What a turn of events in this football game. The fumble recovery by Todd Bell, and one play later, a tie game.
Okay, here is the pitch out to Payton. Now, remember what I said. He's running to his left. Now, he's got that ball. There's no pressure on him, and he just hauls off. He's at the 35-yard line. At the 35-yard line. Poe was even deeper than Galt, but Galt adjusted for the ball, caught it on the 10, and took it in for the end zone. So it was a 55-yard pass in the air by Walter Payton as Poe went down. And Galt now is establishing himself, as everybody said he eventually would. Anybody with 9.2 speed who can catch the football, and he's shown that he can catch the football. 9.2 in the 100, 13.6 in the hurdles. Took a pass on the Olympics for this coming year in order to play for the Bears. Number 83, there he is.
He's caught 2 passes today, both of them for touchdowns.
I'd say his average on the year is going to be pretty big, isn't it? Oh, geez.
So we've got a tie football game with 6:42 remaining. It's been a thriller all the way. It has had big defensive plays. It has had big offensive plays. And we have a tie at 6:42 remaining.
Well, the Saints just have given the Bears too many chances. And sooner or later, one drive's going to falter, another drive, but you keep getting the ball back with good defense. Eventually, you're going to come up with a play, especially when you're behind like that. You come up with wild plays or different plays. And you're asking a lot to cover them all. You may sack a guy once or twice, but eventually they're going to get a big play on you. So now we're back to a normal football game, 24-24, and we'll see whether the Saints can sustain a drive. They have not been able to do that here in this fourth quarter and in the latter part of the third quarter after they took the big lead.
There was a tie at the half, 10-10, and New Orleans went in front 24-10 in the third period. Now we're back even. Kickoff to the 10 from Thomas is taken by Rich Motti, and Motti works his way up over the 30 to the 33-yard line. A good effort by Rich Motti. Dan Raines, number 53, made the tackle. Next week on CBS, the NCAA Today will have this regional action for you. Ohio State coming off the win over Oklahoma against Iowa. Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, Tulane with a big upset over Florida State last night against Kentucky. And plus other regional action, and of course our primetime game next Saturday night, Notre Dame and Miami here on CBS Sports. The New Orleans Saints starting from their own 33-yard line. Stabler on first down, complete. And it is Jeff Groth, number 86. On Bowling Green, Brian Cabral, the linebacker, made the tackle, a pickup of about 7.
You know, the more I think about Payton's pass, I was called on once to throw a pass. And in practice all week, I had thrown the ball, spirals. You get excited, especially when you're not used to throwing passes. And I threw one that was a wounded duck because the experience of knowing it's like a golf swing to throw a pass when you're under pressure like that. It was an amazing play by Peyton.
2nd and 2, and oh, what a catch by Jeff Groth. A one-handed catch as he was spinning around. Terry Schmidt had good coverage on him. He's got to be saying, hey, wait a minute. How do you stop that? 64,692, a big crowd here, not a sell-up, but a large crowd.
This is a great adjustment of the body, great hand-eye coordination here because he turned and then he just had to reach out and take the ball, and he almost lost it on his way down. He hung on to the ball. Now the Saints got the ball almost at midfield.
Groth has caught 6 today for 66 yards. First down, the Saints on the move. Stabler again, sideline complete. That is Goodlow, and trying to get out of bounds. Leslie Frazier put the grab on him. 5:48 on the clock. And it's another Saints first down to the 41-yard line of Chicago.
Now they're doing what Stabler does best. Goodlow with a nice move back to the sidelines and back to the ball. Easy first down. Eugene Goodlow, who they say is going to be the best they have here once he gets a little more NFL experience.
There he is, number 88 from Kansas State, 1,681 pounds. Saints right back on the move. Pump fake, deep for Goodlow, incomplete. Fensick back there, Frazier back there. There were 3 Bears on the coverage as it developed along the sideline, and fortunately for Stabler, the ball went out of bounds.
You hit it right on the head.
Threw it out there deliberately.
He threw it right into a big crowd out there. There were 3 Bears on the coverage, and Stabler, who had popped 3 in a row, nice ones, control-type patterns, decided to, hey, let's go down the field. So now they're in the 2nd and 10 situation.
Look at this guy. Is he something? 19 out of 31. 37-year-old Kent State. Williams and Richardson are in to make 6 defensive backs for the Bears on 2nd and 10. Stabler up the middle for the tight end, just missed, incomplete. Intended for Hobie Brenner, number 85. Bell and Richardson on the coverage of the big tight end.
Boy, the Bears were bearing down on Stabler that time. He hung right in the pocket. One thing about him, he'll stick and plant his feet in the pocket. He doesn't have any dancing feet as a quarterback, and now he's going to have to stick in the pocket one more time. 3rd and 10, and the Bears will be coming.
Jim Osborne leading the pressure on Stabler on that last play. 3rd down, big offensive play for the New Orleans Saints with 5:37 on the clock, trying to keep the ball. Stabler hanging in that pocket is dropped from behind, and it is Mike Hartenstein with the sack. And Stabler never saw him.
And he beat Stan Brock, the right tackle again. Mike Hartenstein now has 4 sacks in the last 2 games. Stabler hung with the pocket, and that's the difference between a mobile quarterback and an immobile, but he didn't see him coming. He felt him coming, but he was trying to get the pass off. Watch to the right of your screen. He comes from the backside, number 73, Mike Hartenstein, and down goes Stabler, who was busy doing what a good quarterback should do. Look for those receivers and try and find the open one.
4th sack of Stabler today by the Bears. Erxleben gets off a big punt, lands at the 4 and kicks into the end zone. So the Bears will start from their own 20-yard line, a 49-yard punt for Erxleben, and he's unhappy that he was unable to keep the ball out of the end zone. Well, next week, another full slate of NFL action on CBS, and these New Orleans Saints will be at Dallas, and that should be an exciting tilt. St. Louis at Philadelphia. Those games start 11:30 Central. The Chicago Bears will have a rather unusual start time. They'll be in Baltimore, and that will all start at 12:30 Central with the NFL today. So remember that start time. And the second game in our doubleheader next week will have the Rams and the Jets. And coming up, the Giants and the Cowboys. 1st and 10 for the Chicago Bears. The crowd trying to arouse that outstanding Saints defense. They've been burned on some big ones, but they have made a lot of big defensive plays today. Kovac putting the stop on Walter Payton after a gain of 5.
Do you think Payton has done very much the second half? He ran for almost all those yards in that one drive. He throws a 55-yard touchdown pass.
Oh, he's got 142 yards on the day.
He's got to be only about 1,700 yards. I'm just roughly estimating this, about 1,700 yards, 1,750 maybe, behind Jimmy Brown's all-time record. He's still only in his 9th year. That's getting up there for a running back, but I'd say he's good for a couple, 3 more years, wouldn't you?
I would think so. There's the count on his rushing yardage today.
That's about 7 yards per carry.
He had 14 catches coming into the game today, and that was the top number in the entire conference. Injured Saint player down. We've been unable to identify yet. No, it's a Bears player, pardon me, and we're still trying to get a look at who the injured Bear player is. There we are. It is Rob Fata, the rookie guard from Pittsburgh, and happily he's back on his feet.
Well, it looks like his knee might...
let's see what they opt to do here. They could bring in Reeve Sorey, who's got a sore knee, or they could go with rookie Mark Bortz at that spot. And it's going to be Bortz, number 62, the rookie from Iowa, as Sorey's knee kept him out of the starting role. Kurt Becker going at right guard all the way today. So Mark Bortz gets his first action at guard as an NFL player. The number 8 pick from Iowa at left guard. 2nd and 4 on the 26-yard line as play resumes with 4:33 and the clock counting. Out of the I formation, Suey goes to the wing left. Evans, the quarterback. McMahon out with an injury. Walter Payton dives for a couple. It'll bring up 3rd and a long 3. Dennis Winston makes yet another tackle, number 56. He joined us along the way. McMahon has not played since early in the second half. He left with a neck muscle injury. There he is on the sideline with his shoulder pads off. He had 11 for 18, 172 yards when he had to leave the game. A touchdown, 1 interception. Nickelback Bill Hurley is in defensively on 3rd and 4, and so the Bears have a big 3rd down play. Out of the shotgun, Evans hanging in. And Johnny Poe. Touchdown. It has been a day of big plays, and Johnny Poe comes up with the biggest run today for the Saints. 3:35 to play.
He was trying to hit Marjoram down. I don't think Evans even saw him. Look at that. The pass was a little bit behind Marjoram, and Johnny Poe took it in for the touchdown. And what can you say? The picture tells a million things.
31-yard touchdown on the return of an interception by Johnny Poe, the 3rd-year man from Missouri. Morton Anderson with a point after. The Saints are back in front. The last time they returned an intercepted pass for a touchdown was in 1979 when Ken Bordelon, now on injured reserve, the linebacker, returned one for 19 yards against Oakland.
I'd say Johnny Poe deserves it because of what he's had to do the last couple of weeks because of injuries, had to, change positions and move around in that defensive backfield. He always wanted to play a cornerback. I mean, that's his natural spot. And he had to move because of injuries in the rest of the defensive backfield. He's back at his normal spot. Comes up with a big play for the New Orleans Saints, and it is a big play. This has been a very entertaining football game. Really.
31 to 24, the New Orleans Saints in front, 3:35 remaining to play, and so it is a long way from being over. We've had explosive plays. We've had big offensive plays and big defensive plays today by both teams, and that does add up to NFL entertainment. Morton Anderson, left-footed kicker, born in Denmark, will kick it off, and he has been pounding his kickoffs. Only one has been short of the goal line. Willie Gault, who's got 2 touchdowns on pass receptions today, waiting to return it. He takes it 3 deep, and they hold him in there. So the Bears will start from their own 20-yard line, and after you've watched the doubleheader action today with the Giants at Dallas, remember there is a full schedule of entertainment on CBS tonight. Season premiere of the most popular show on television, 60 Minutes, followed by Alice, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Goodnight Beantown, and Trapper John M.D. All tonight on CBS.
That Bear offensive line is really going to get a test now because the Saints can tee off again. They might be susceptible to the draws and stuff, but being ahead by 7 points, the Bears have to go 80 yards. They're going to give them those runs.
Listen to this crowd.
They're going to tee off on the pass.
5,000 strong. The signs in the stadium say it can happen here. They mean Super Bowl. They'll settle for playoff, the first ever, but it's only game 3 of this 16-game season. Still, they know that Bum Phillips has got something serious going here in New Orleans.
Well, they were 1-15 the year before he came. Then last year they were 4-5 in the shortened season, and now they have a chance to go 2-1. They have never had better than a 500 season, you know. So these New Orleans people have been waiting a long time. That's 17 years, almost as long as the Chicago Bear fans have been waiting. But at least the Bears have won some championships. New Orleans, unless that man right there, Bum Phillips, is the magic one, going to shoot for it this year. He says, what the heck, we might as well go for all the marbles and think we can get them all.
Vince Evans got a little extra time when he said he could not hear his teammates could not hear signals over the crowd. And now we're ready to go. Beta's back in at guard. Short pass to Moorhead, incomplete. Diving in to break it up was Kovac, the linebacker, number 52. 2nd and 10. 3:24 on the clock. 31-24, New Orleans lead. Evans in for the injured Vince Evans in for the injured Jim McMahon. And all of it squarely on his shoulders. He is 3 of 9 for 65 yards.
Can you think up something new that maybe Walter could do?
Well, he has done about everything else. A quick kick won't help here, though.
Defense.
Slot formation to the right. Saints fans exhorting their defense to come up with another big play. Evans has time. Deep sideline to Galt. And as he inbounds, yes, first down Bears to the 37-yard line. 17-yard pickup.
Pretty good move by Galt as he has to catch that ball and get his feet down. 1-2, a little pitter-patter, and he does it well as Vince Evans had pretty good protection. He put the ball on the dime, and there are his feet. 1. Ooh, that was real close. I don't know if that's second. Here, maybe we'll get a better look at it right here, because when he originally was coming down, he had 2 feet, but they didn't hit the ground. Now they're down. Yeah, he's down. He's down. Good call by the official.
First down. Out of the shotgun, Evans. Gets some time again, but he's hit just as he released it. Just as he let the ball go, he was hit from behind, intended for Suey. Rob Nair, an extra linebacker in, number 55, got a piece of Evans and destroyed the pass. 3:13 on the clock. 2nd and 10. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris. We have had non-stop excitement here. It was 10-10 at the end of the first half, but there were a lot of big plays, a lot of exciting plays, just not all of them resulting in scoring situations. And in the second half, everything they've been doing has resulted in something on the board. 2nd and 10 at the 38.
Dennis Gentry is still in there. Peyton is not in the game at this moment.
Slot right. Marjoram and Galt, wide receivers. And the Saints stack it up behind the line of scrimmage.
Tony Elliott with another big play.
Elliott and Clark coming in to break it up for a 1-yard loss. 3rd and 11. We got a final score from Green Bay. And there it is. Green Bay kicked a field goal to break that 24-24 tie and beat the Rams 27-24. 3rd and 12. Well, this is the play of the game.
You can say that again. This is a big one.
Another shotgun. Rolling right.
It's McMahon. No.
Evans complete to Moorhead. First down to the 41-yard line. Vince Evans finding Emery Moorhead, and Evans delivers. 2:15 and counting. And they're into the New Orleans territory.
And I think his plan was to get out of the pocket right away, delay, and then to take off, get him going towards the sidelines, and have people come and help him, because Evans can run so well. And I really think that he was on his way out of that pocket before the play even began. And Moorhead comes up with a key catch and keeps the Bear drive alive. That was an important one, wasn't it?
24-yard gain. Timeout on the field. A terrifically important play. And Evans and Moorhead combined as we've now reached the 2-minute warning. We'll be back at the Superdome in New Orleans with the Bears on the move. Charlie fan club is in attendance here, and Patty and Donna say the Bears are going to growl the Saints. Now, that sounds pretty fierce. I wouldn't want to be growled, that's for sure.
Well, it took us 4 quarters. There aren't very many Bear signs in this stadium.
That's for sure. 65,000 strong. They are hoping that the New Orleans Saints can hold off this last 2-minute bid by the Chicago Bears. Evans has just come through with a clutch first down. Up the middle, complete to the 21-yard line. Evans to Moorhead again. Emery Moorhead, his second consecutive reception from Vince Evans, and again that ball on a rope to the 21-yard line. The field goal won't do it. 1:47 on the clock. Timeout on the field.
Straight 4-man rush as the Bear offensive line double-teamed just about everybody to give Evans the time, and you're going to see 4 dark jerseys right around Moorhead when he catches the ball, but he found the open hole and made the reception, so the Bears have a shot. It's 21-yard line, first down, Chicago.
Bears took the timeout. They've got 2 remaining. The ball at the 21-yard line.
One problem with some of the ropes that Vince Evans throws is that the trajectory is not real high. And a lot of times you can get, linebacker. Well, Winston got one. You can reach up and snare those down. He doesn't have a lot of arc on some of the passes. That anywhere between 5 and 20 yards, he does not have a lot of trajectory.
All right, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger and see the finish of that Green Bay Rams game.
The worst thing you can have is this guy here, Dave Jennings punt, is one of the best punter in the league. Let him get the offense down.
And so the Pack defeating the Rams in Green Bay, one of the preseason favorites in the NFC Central, moves their record up to 2-1. Chicago trying to keep pace. They've got to force overtime unless something else should happen if they get the tying touchdown before regulation time runs out.
Peyton is back in, so he apparently was tired, real tired.
I guess. Evans gives it to Peyton. Peyton's going to throw. Peyton to the end zone, wide open. Willie Gault, is he in bounds? No. He's out of bounds over the end line. Peyton had him wide open. The ball was a little overthrown, and yes, it is a touchdown. They reversed themselves. Gault caught it in the end zone. Well, what a turn of events. Holy smokes. Walter Payton's second touchdown pass of the day. Look at Noah Jackson off the bench. He hasn't been able to play because of his thigh problem, but he is leading the applause. Watch this.
Inside handoff. He has 3 linemen there for protection. They're going to make sure he gets rid of that ball. And Gault just got lost in the crowd. And the first official, nice pass, huh? First official said it was out of the end zone. We'll take a look as it comes down. 1, 2. He's in.
There's no question.
That's it. He hasn't got any more feet than 2.
Thomas will attempt the point after to tie it up. You can expect Young to be jumping high. It is good. We have a tie football game with 1:40 to play here at the Superdome. What a game here in New Orleans.
I told you there was something else that Walter could do, is run to his right and throw a touchdown pass.
That's right. We did leave that out.
We left that one out. Unbelievable football player.
Walter Payton with his second touchdown pass. Willie Gault with his third touchdown catch. And the Chicago Bears, Vince Evans over there saying, nice pass, Wally. It followed exactly my instructions on how to throw the football.
The thing is, the quarterbacks are going to start worrying. One of them might get cut. Walter will go out for quarterback. Here it is.
One more time.
Look at those linemen. You can see there's Spada, there's Becker. Everybody's out in front. Jimbo Colbert, 74. No pressure on Peyton. He just flings it, and it's really an excellent pass into the end zone. Gault was so open. and made a nice catch, made sure he got a hold of it and got both feet in. Willie Gault has 3 touchdown passes, right?
Yes, he
2 from
does.
Peyton.
Now there's 1:40 left, which is a lot of time, as you all well know. And I was speculating that this Chicago touchdown, if they scored it, would force overtime, but I did leave the unless. 1:40's the way this game has been going, that's almost an eternity, because the Saints could well do something, make something happen score-wise before regulation time runs out. Willie Gault is the deep man for the Bob Thomas kicks off, and the deep man is Duckett, number 83 for the Saints.
There he
the other
goes.
83 who's had himself a day. And look at him, out to the 35-yard line. Dennis Gentry made the tackle, but New Orleans 83 has had 2 long kickoff returns, 54 and 61, and he gets this one out to the 35-yard line. And there he is, up limping with a hamstring and an ankle pull, but looks like he's trying to stay on the field. Now they call him off. Well, we want to thank all of our outstanding crew here, and elsewhere, our executive producer and our senior producer, Terry O'Neill and Charles Milton in New York. Our producer here, Ed Gorin. And our director, Peter Bleckner. Associate producer from Chicago, Paul Arndt. And the outstanding technical crew. First down pass. Kobe Brenner out of bounds at the 40-yard line. 1:28. Kenny Stabler, if there's anybody who operates a 2-minute drill or less better than Kenny Stabler in the history of the NFL, I can't name him. Let's see what he can do here.
You know, we might have listed those credits a little bit soon. We could be around here for a while.
2nd and 2. There's some of the other chaps who are bringing it all to you. And we thank them. This is 2nd and 3. 1:28 on the clock. Stabler in control. And he is
It's fumble.
loose ball. Al Harris made the hit. The Bears say they have the ball, and they do. And so a big defensive play. Jim Osborne, number 68, comes up with a loose ball, and the Chicago Bears have the football.
There is a penalty on the play, but it's probably against New Orleans. It looked like it was in the offensive line there. So it's the Bears' ball, I believe.
Holding, number 64, declined, first down.
So the
Dave
Bears,
LaFari called for holding, so the Bears get to keep the football with 1:23 to play.
let's take a look at Jim Osborne. Dan Hampton, 99 on the spin. Osborne comes around, gets around the hole, and there is Al Harris with the stripping of the ball as Stabler lost it. And there is the recovery by Osborne, number 68. He's had some key plays, hasn't he?
So Chicago with the ball in Saints territory at the 34-yard line, and 1:23 still remaining regulation time. All kinds of motion. Flags are down as Peyton runs into his own blocker and is dropped. And this penalty will likely be against Emery Moorhead, who appeared to be a little too eager to get into the play. And so that will drop the Bears back as they had excellent field position with a lot of time remaining.
Was there a second flag that dropped late, too?
Well, there are 2 flags down. I'm not sure whether they're for the same infraction or not.
Yeah.
An official huddle is underway.
Well, it's
The
against
signal from
Chicago.
Freddie Wyatt was against the Bears.
Well, one thing that is evident, and that is that Mike Ditka is displaying his
Illegal motion, number 87, first down.
outgoing personality in the nature of this football team. He's not afraid to do anything. We have seen everything in the last 3 weeks. Every kind of reverse and toss and option and everything.
1st and 15. Evans continues at quarterback. Peyton the lone setback. They give it to Peyton. Why not? Out the left side, Walter Payton gets out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Pickup of about 8 yards on the play. 1:17 on the clock.
And they are now very close to field goal range. As you look at Bob Thomas, number 16 in the back, and he is the most accurate kicker in Bear history. You can see the figures there yourself, and has been really very dependable for the Chicago Bears over the years. And it is going to come down to him probably, because there's 1:17 left in the game. The Bears at the 30 right now. It'd be a pretty long field goal, but they have plenty of time to get it in closer.
You know, the New Orleans Saints lost a heartbreaker last week, 30-27 to the Rams. They could be looking that in the eye again right now. Ashnagle.
Oh,
They give it to Peyton, and they really stacked him up. The Saints defense
They timed the blitz perfectly, Tim. I think it was Watlett.
And
Yeah.
Derlin Moore.
Yeah, and even Waymore was around there. But you watch the timing on this. There's Watlett, 49. He gets right in the gap here and is right on Payton before he can even get the ball, and caused a little bit of a collision. There's Dan Neal, 52, and going, what's going on around here?
So it is 3rd down and 9. A tie football game. 42 seconds on the clock at the 32-yard line of the Saints. Payton alone setback. Bashnagel right. Suey complete. Flag down. Suey is near the 1st down marker. A flag is down on the play. 26 seconds on the clock. Keith Van Horn is slow to get up.
And it may be a holding call against Chicago. We'll have to see. It was back in the pass blocking area.
That's the call.
Boy, that's a big call.
That will probably push Thomas out of field goal range. Now, mind you, we're indoors here. There's no wind factor, nothing in his face. May have the air conditioning behind him. How do we know?
Frankly, I'm surprised they opted to pass the ball when you risk the sack when they're at the 32. If they could have run for 3 or 4 yards.
Holding, number 78, 3rd down.
When you are down that close, if you can get 3 or 4 more yards, Thomas has a shot at a 40-yard field goal. But when you pass, you know, that's second guessing. You always risk yourself to the sack or to a holding call. So we'll see what happens.
Penalty against the Bears, Johnny. 111 yards they've given up. That's a lot of going backwards. 3rd and 19. Slot left. Marjoram and Scott. James Scott, the wide receivers.
Here they come, everybody but the kitchen sink.
And he gets the ball off. What an effort by Vince Evans. Are they going to call a sack or not? 22 seconds on the clock. Whitney Paul had him in his grip.
It looks
Evans
like they
got
are
the
going
pass away.
They're calling the sack.
Well, that's twice now. Evans has been able to unload the ball, but they have ruled it a sack for New Orleans, and that puts them back to the 47-yard line of Chicago.
Whitney Paul, 51, was there before Evans had a chance to do anything, and there was no chance for the completion, but they gave him the sack on the play, so Parsons is in to punt the ball with 3, 2, 1, and we're going to have overtime.
That's it. We'll go to the extra innings. So we have had some kind of a thrilling football game. We're tied at 31. The Saints and the Bears, Walter Payton and Willie Gault have provided almost all of the Bears offense. Kenny Stabler and Kenny Duckett have done the same for New Orleans. We've seen some outstanding defensive plays, believe it or not. We've scored 62 points.
I know.
But we have had some big defensive plays today. This game has had it all. There have been 8 sacks for the New Orleans Saints to establish a new team record.
And a critical coin flip is coming up as Kenny Stabler is already out there for the New Orleans Saints, and he's been involved in a few classic games. Remember the rule change because of him in that game a few years ago when the deliberate fumble they called
it a deliberate fumble.
Yeah,
I don't think he's ever admitted that. Neither is our John Madden, who still claims it wasn't a deliberate fumble.
Okay, here's a big coin flip, and Lady Luck has a lot to do with the outcome of this game now on this situation.
Jeff Fisher for the Bears.
It is a tail. Which way you want? Which way? Kick. Okay.
The Bears won it, I believe.
Bears will receive. Jeff Fisher made the winning call out there, and the Bears will receive to our right. So we'll begin the overtime momentarily with the score tied at 31. We'll be right back at the Superdome in a moment. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris back in the Superdome, tied at 31. Overtime about to begin. The Bears will receive the football. Meanwhile, the game that many of you will be seeing as soon as this one is completed, the Giants at Dallas. New York is on top at Dallas, 3-0 in the first period. Field goal by Ali Haji Sheikh. And so the teams take the field here, having had their brief rest, and you can see they've been there before. The Bears have. 9 times and are 4-5. The Saints have been twice there and have yet to win in overtime.
And I can't remember the exact statistics, but when I said Lady Luck was for the Bears when they won the flip, it doesn't always work out that way, because if you look over the years, the team that has won the flip has lost the most times, which does not quite seem like the way it would turn out, but that's the way it does.
Chicago has opened the scoring in this game, and then it was 10-10 at the half. Saints went ahead 24-10. Chicago tied it at 24 all. New Orleans went ahead 31-24 on Poe's interception. Payton's second touchdown pass to Galt tied it up. And here we are. Another huge kickoff by Morton Anderson, and Willie Galt, about 7 yards deep, will stay right there, and the Bears will start from their 20-yard line. Well, there'll be more of the same next week. These Saints, who are obviously an exciting team on the rise, will be in Dallas against the Cowboys. The Bears will be at Baltimore at 12:30 Central Start Time with the NFL Today next week. So you folks in the Chicago area, note that start time. St. Louis at Philadelphia, another one of our regional games next week on CBS Sports. And the doubleheader clincher is the Rams and the Jets. Los Angeles at Shea Stadium. Here we go. First down. Vince Evans, the quarterback. McMahon left with a neck injury early in the second half. Evans to Payton. Payton straight ahead, picks up about 7 to the 28-yard line. Let's make it an 8-yard gain.
Reeve Sorey has come into the game, number 69, and threw a good block. He has a sore knee, didn't play early in the game. 69 is playing at the left guard spot. He comes across and just wheels his man out right there, and Payton goes through the hole. Good blocking by Reeve Sorey, number 69, who's been on the bench with a sore knee, so you know he's hurting.
Hall and Kovac made the tackle for the Saints, 2nd and 2. So Covert, Sorey, Neal, Becker, Van Horn. Payton straight ahead and nowhere to go. The Saints shut it down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Nose tackle, Derlin Moore, number 74, just straightening up the center, Dan Neal. Dennis Winston, number 56, right there with the support.
So we have about a 3rd and 1 situation, and here comes Jay Saldi, 81, another tight end with the play for Vince Evans, as this New Orleans defense is on the spot once again, as they have been most of the second half.
What's your call here, Johnny? What's your call?
Okay.
Looks like maybe the Bears haven't decided on their call here.
There's only 7 seconds left in the clock.
3, 2. Just got it off. It's almost fumbled. Payton trying to keep the play alive. He is stopped.
Oh, boy.
A misplay by Evans and Payton, as Evans had trouble with the snap from center with time winding down on the clock. And Ditka is slightly upset. And Suey trying to explain, hey, Coach, here's what happened.
Well, apparently there was a mix-up on the formation or the call, and there was some confusion because Suey was trying to defend what he did. And here, so they tried to rush it off, and then they got messed up on the handoff, and there were too many Saints around, and obviously the thing to do would have been called timeout. They still have 3 timeouts. It's a new 2 timeouts in the overtime period.
Parsons gets a good punt away. It's taken at the 30-yard line by Groth, and Groth gets out of bounds at the 35. So New Orleans will have first down in pretty good field position. They're going to spot it at the 34-yard line of New Orleans. Let's take a look at some other scores. A final is in from Detroit, where Atlanta has handed it to the Lions 30-14. And Green Bay with that field goal victory over the Rams, 27-24. Washington came from behind to beat Kansas City 27-12. Buffalo over Baltimore 28-23, a real dogfight. And New England upset the Jets 23-13. Pittsburgh over Houston 40-28. Back here we are. Gaijan gets about a yard over the 35. Maybe a 2-yard gain for Gaijan. Otis Wilson on the tackle with Hartenstein and Osborne. It'll be 2nd and 8 yards.
It's one thing is obvious, that they're just not able to get the running game going, Tim, and they haven't all day. And They're missing Mr. Rogers, obviously. That was the heart of their running game. But I think as far as the Saints are concerned, they got to go to the control stuff that Stabler does so well. 1, 2, 3, fire. Not deep in the pocket.
He's got lots of time here. Sideliner is out of bounds. No, it is inbounds. It is a completion. And it is Jeff Groth. I thought he was juggling the ball as he made the catch. But it is ruled complete.
Well, you're going to get a chance to find out as Groth goes down the field deep, an 18-yard out. Now, he doesn't go to the sidelines. He comes back to help Stabler out. Comes back almost 10 yards, and you can't get a good look, but it does appear that he had his feet in bounds. Now it's close to a first down situation. That's what the Saints, that's what Stabler do best in this game, because you don't have Rogers. You got to throw that precision stuff.
First down for Groth, and still looked to me like that ball was being juggled, Johnny. I don't think he had a real good grip on it.
Well, we'll get a chance to look at it.
Well, you wide receivers stick together anyway. Look at, he's still trying to get a hold on it.
I don't know. You're seeing two different things.
Doesn't matter. It's first down for New Orleans, and they have it at the 44-yard line.
If the Saints go down and score, the Bears are going to be sick that they didn't call a timeout when they had that critical 3rd and 1 situation, and they tried to rush it rather than call a timeout and get organized.
11:52 in the overtime period remaining. One setback for the Saints.
Blitz.
They've got him. Brian Cabral, the charge led by Wilson, number 55. Brian Cabral, the linebacker, number 54, wrapped him up. Big defensive play for the Bears, back to the 34 of New Orleans.
Stabler must not have had a safety valve, because here comes Singletary, comes Wilson, Cabral, everybody, and he couldn't dump it off to anybody, which he's usually so good at, as it was Otis Wilson who made him kind of adjust in the pocket, and Cabral just finished off the tackle. So now they're in a long passing situation.
That's the 6th sack by the Bears. A total of 55 yards. Both these teams have been having sack Sundays. Stabler into traffic, and it is intercepted by Terry Schmidt.
Well, there's a flag down.
Flags down. The pass intended for Goodlow. Terry Schmidt caught the football for the Bears, and let's see which way it goes.
I think it's going to go to Chicago. They may have called something on. We'll have to see. But if it's on the Saints, it's probably something where it looked like he grabbed at Schmidt. He might have grabbed the face mask after the interception.
Good eye, Johnny. That's the call. Freddie Wyant giving that preliminary signal. Walter Payton checking it out. The ball will be at the 47-yard line of the Bears, and they'll march it off from there. So they get into Saints territory at the 47.
Boy,
second interception by Terry Schmidt.
Yeah, he is really coming on.
Face mask, number 88, first down.
It was Goodlow getting the call.
Well, here goes Stabler throwing down into a little traffic. They had the old double team on here. You're going to see two guys. And Schmidt just goes up and over and makes a super intersection. And there is the grab there of the face mask after the play. So the Bears have a chance now inside Saint territory.
In motion, Moorhead. Evans pitching to Payton. Payton takes it off tackle and dives for about 5 yards. 2nd and 5 to the 43-yard line of New Orleans. Kovac and Wilkes on the tackle of Walter Payton. 11:03 counting down in the overtime period. They spot the ball right on the 44-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris with a real thriller from the Superdome. Any of you who will stay tuned will be watching the Giants at Dallas, already in progress. 161 yards rushing for Walter Payton on 27 carries, 2 touchdown passes. He's done it all. And he eludes the loss and picks up about a yard. Looked like he would be drop about 6 yards on that play, and he wound up gaining 1.
There's Mike Ditka and Ed Hughes talking to Kenny Marjoram. They're going to make sure that the call is, everybody's clear of what it's going to be. But, you know, you said, what did he lose, a yard on that play?
No, he gained a yard.
Gained a yard. You know, he really should have lost 4 or 5. I mean, Payton, some of the little things that Payton does, you don't appreciate. If he had been hit like most backs and dropped when he was double teamed back there, it would have been 3rd and 10. Instead, it's 3rd and 5. That makes a difference.
Shotgun Evans. Deep drop. Short pass. Payton hit immediately by 3 Saints. He got only about a yard. Excellent defensive work. Frank Wantlet, number 49,
Do you think they were waiting for Walter Payton?
I think they were waiting for Walter Payton.
Somebody else had to be open around the field. You're waiting to see Payton. He just drifts out of the backfield, and there's 3 Saints waiting for him right there. 1, 2, 3, well, all on him right there, waiting for nobody but Walter Payton. That's what you call drawing a crowd.
Well, the Bears are only 3 of 16 converting third downs today. And that'll bring Bob Parsons on with 9:19 and ticking. And it'll be the Saints' turn to try to get into field goal territory. Well, a little razzle-dazzle on the punt here, blocking formation by the Chicago Bears. Shifting blockers. Oh, this looks like a dandy by Parsons. He's got his own man in front. That is Gentry at the 2-yard line. A perfect punt by Bob Parsons. And Dennis Gentry hustling down there to down it at the 2.
Well, Bob Parsons getting his congratulations. He's been so good at that over the years. One of the best punters for punting inside the 20. And I would say if you went by stats inside the 10, he's got to be #1 in the NFL.
40-yarder, but it's where it stopped that really counts in that stat. It's at the 2, and Kenny Stabler brings on the Saints offense from the shadow of the goal line. They'll try to get the ball upfield with 9 minutes to play in overtime.
Well, let's see. They haven't been able to run a lick, you know, and now here they are on their 1-yard line. And it's going to be very difficult for the Saints.
They're in the I formation on first down. He's going to throw off play action, complete to Hobie Brenner.
Oh,
you got to love that.
that's a gutsy call and a good call.
Frazier made the tackle. The big tight end, Brenner's become a very reliable receiver. 17-yard pickup, and the Saints are now having a little breathing room.
Good pickup on Mike Singletary by the backs after they faked, and there's Hobie Brenner. Mismatch in size, but Frazier made the tackle, and they got a first down out at their 14-yard
line.
Audible.
That is Gaijan getting to the 15 for a pickup of just a yard. Make it Wilson. Wayne Wilson, number 30. And George Rogers.
Do you think he's wishing that he was in there? He gained over 200 yards the first game of the year. Still a leading rusher in the NFL. He won't be after today's statistics come in, but you miss somebody like George Rogers, and they just haven't been able to make up for that as far as the running game is concerned.
Wore the jersey to the game. Maybe he was hoping Bum would suit him up anyway. 2nd and 9. Stabler complete. Kenny Duckett. First down, Saints. What a day this guy's had. Kenny Duckett, second-year man from Wake Forest, their 5th pick last year. He's been running back kickoffs, picks up a 13-yarder. What an afternoon.
He almost didn't make it off the field the last time he carried the ball. He was limping, and here he goes and catches that quick post in a crowd, too. That's the way a wide receiver, you got to do it. Go for the ball and hug it, and don't worry about your teeth.
It only hurts when he laughs. Kenny Duckett's 4th catch today, 49 yards and a touchdown. He's wide left. Scott wide right. Draw play. Wayne Wilson's got some running room. Wilson picks up about 9. The Saints really having an outstanding drive from their 2-yard line on the route to the 38. Gary Fensick made the hit. 6:48 on the clock.
Yeah, you have to give them some credit. They came out from their shadow of the goal post. There's no shadows inside here, but they still came out of there and have moved the ball well with excellent field position now. Now they can play a game. I think they might throw more on first down.
2nd and a yard to go. 1 setback. Quick little flare out for Duckett. Duckett has the first down. Frazier with the tackle, out of bounds at the 41.
Now this is the point of the game where it gets interesting, because you know that Bum Phillips likes to, even though they threw on first down a lot last week, you know, they like to, you know, get you in a 2nd and 4 or something like that. But where they've been successful are those kinds of passes that we've seen today, where he throws the precision. He throws them on first down, they'll complete them, and they'll do well. But running on first down has not been the answer.
Stabler is 24 of 37 for 274 yards. Just got it away, and it's complete. Lindsey Scott, 9-yard pickup to the 48-yard line.
Kenny Stabler, 37 years old. Every time he gets up off the turf, you think that might be the last time he gets up, but he just keeps getting up. And you imagine they got him as a free agent, didn't they?
He's a 208-pounder this year. You know, he's telling our people yesterday that he thinks he's in the best shape physically, weight-wise and conditioning. He's had a full training camp. Feels like a kid again, doing what he did again. 25 out of 39 he stands. 2nd and 2. 6 defensive backs in.
Ooh.
Pitch out to Wilson. Good call. To the 30-yard line, Wayne Wilson. Oh, you gotta love that call.
A pitch to the outside on 2nd and very short yardage, and it opened wide open. You'll see Walt Williams get caught in the traffic, number 43. There's the key block right there. I believe that was Hobie Brenner, I believe, as he sprung Wilson to the outside, and finally Terry Schmidt catches up with him, but not before the Saints are down in field goal range.
Oh, man, this is fun. This is the most fun I can remember in an NFL game in a long time. 1st and 10 for the New Orleans Saints. 65,000 faithful enjoying this. Wilson gets about a yard. They'll enjoy it more if they see Morton Anderson kick it through the uprights. Osborne made the tackle. 2nd and 9. The ball being spotted at the 31-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Morton Anderson doing a little rehearsing into the net.
To put you at the precise yardage right now, if they kicked a field goal from this point, which they won't, it would be about 47 yards. So they want to get a little bit closer than this. And the Bears are going to have those linebackers look at them right off the line. They're going to come flying at that running back from the...
Wilson trying to get wide right. Otis Wilson forced him wide. The ball is loose. It's recovered by Leslie Frazier. They've ruled it dead upfield, and I believe still New Orleans ball. Otis Wilson did the defensive job. Finsick, I believe, was the man who made the tackle. And the ball is apparently still New Orleans ball.
If he had control when he hit the ground, then there is no fumble beyond that point. If he had fumbled before he hit the ground, then it would have been the Bears' ball. So a keen eye by the officials, and we'll see if the keen eyes...
Cowboy sighs of relief were being breathed by Bum Phillips.
It's going to be a bang-bang call. You can see that as Wilson went to the outside, I think, on his own. Now, does he fumble before he hits the turf? No. He was down on the turf, and the ball bounced out of his stomach. So I would have to say that it was a good call by the officials.
And it was Hartenstein who made the tackle. Otis Wilson who made the good defensive play, not giving him anywhere to go. But New Orleans has the football at the 27-yard line of the Chicago Bears. 4:58 remaining in overtime. We'll be back. We are tied at 31. The Saints have the football at the Bears 27-yard line. Kenny Stabler in control. You know, Wayne Wilson, Johnny's got 45 yards in this drive on 6 carries. That's more than the Saints had rushing totally in the entire game.
Well, the byword now is hang on to the ball.
In the I formation. Monty in motion. Wayne Wilson holds that ball and gets over the 25 to the 23. There is Morton Anderson, Danish-born, Michigan State alum.
It's still a little bit far to be a sure field goal, I think, as there was a little hassling out there on the field. No fight or anything, but they're going to go. They're not going to wait any longer.
Well, they were short of the first down by about a foot, it looks like, maybe a yard.
They were short, yes.
And so they have a 4th down play, and that brings in Anderson. It is 4th and 1 at the 24-yard line. Wilson just unable to get the first down against the front of that Bears defense.
It'll be a 41-yard attempt.
They'll spot it at the 31. Merkins holding. Morton Anderson gets it off, and it is good. game. Bum Phillips and Dan Hampton renewing acquaintances. Morton Anderson, the hero of the moment in New Orleans.
A kick that was nearly blocked. It just got up and over, and it was right in the middle of the uprights. Everybody knew it once the ball. He knew it from the word go. From as soon as he put his foot on the ball, you could tell from his reaction, no doubt, I got it. Time to go home.
Michigan State beat Notre Dame, and Michigan State alumnus Morton Anderson beat the Chicago Bears. Last week they lost a three-pointer to the Rams. This week they win a three-pointer and move to 2-1 in the standings. A thrilling game, 34-31. The New Orleans Saints over the Chicago Bears. For Johnny Morris, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from the Superdome. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League. The Giants in Dallas will continue after this word from your local station.
Now United flies to Hong Kong from more U.S. cities than any other airline. United Airlines makes the Far East far easier.
Why did Green Beret Captain Jeffrey McDonald kill his wife and children? He says he didn't. A jury says he did. 60 Minutes starts a new season this evening on CBS.
Do you know how many of these motor oils would love to make this claim? Well, this one can. Mobil 1, the official oil of the '84 Winter Olympics.
Hi, I'm Steve Wynn, and this is one of the beautiful suites in the Golden Nugget of Las Vegas, which, as everybody knows, is downtown. Nevertheless, you'd be amazed if you knew how many people think that this is uptown. Hi, Mr. Sinatra. I'm Steve Wynn. I run this place.
You see, I get enough towels.